Well, spring has sprung. The pink cherry blossoms starting to peek out. The daffodils are also out. It's all systems go. We've got a lovely weekend, sunshine, and even a bit of heat in the sun once this initial kind of cold morning burns off. Sometimes you've just got to head for the hills. You know, you may wonder what to do with yourself, and you might think of all sorts of things, but at the end of the day, for me, heading for the hills is at times the thing, just what I have to do. I'm starting here in Menstrie, heading into the Ochil Hills and towards the Sheriffmuir road and the monument that marks the site of the Battle of Sheriffmuir. Then we'll head downhill towards Dunblane. That's the plan. Here's the route. I so needed this to be out here. I sometimes thought that the city of Glasgow is perhaps a bit like a wife. I don't have a wife, but you know, I love the city of Glasgow, but every now and then I've just got to get away from it. And I kind of imagine maybe a wife's a bit like that as well. Maybe not. So I'm on this side of Menstrie Glen at the moment, in the Ochil Hills. There was a video that I did a while back, and I've been trying to remember what it's called. Blair Logie round the back of Dumyat. I'll put the title at the bottom of the screen. And at the start, towards the start of that video, I suddenly realised I was not on the side of Menstrie Glen that I thought I was going to be. I don't know what I was thinking there. You know, decades ago, I used to stay in this area, and I used to walk around about this, the hills by Menstrie, quite a lot, you know. Even as a child, I would be up and down Dumyat, the hill of Dumyat, just there. But this side of Menstrie Glen is, I think, the side that I have in the past been on more often. Just every now and then, even though it was decades ago, little memories suddenly happen, and I just recognise things or get a feeling of familiarity about the place. At the moment, in this track, and as we go further along, when you look at Ordnance Survey maps, there's been quite a lot of buildings in this part of the Glen. I'm sitting in one just now. This is the entrance to a building that's all at ground level. They're just stones, the outline in stones at the moment. And there's quite a few of them. There's a row here, there's other ones just over there, and further along there's more of them. So obviously kind of, not so much farms, but probably a bit of a township here at one time, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Although I think one of the buildings, and I'm thinking Jerah, again I'll put the proper name at the bottom of the screen if I've got this wrong. I think it was probably occupied up until about the 1930s or something like that. You know, up until fairly recent times. But most of this stuff has been abandoned for hundreds of years. And what a lovely place it would have been to live. Just beautiful. So I am, you know, a bit familiar with this part of the hills here and the ruins. When we get to the very end of the section where there's this last ruin, you might say, I plan to follow a track, as I said earlier, that will eventually take me onto the Sheriffmuir Road, and then to the Battle of Sheriffmuir Monument. And that particular track I've not been on before. Indeed, it's not on my map. Usual story, you know, I'm working with an Ordnance Survey map that's out of date. But I did look at Ordnance Survey online to check an up-to-date map and situation, and I've marked on my map the track where it goes. It's not it doesn't continue from the track here. There seems to be a slight gap, so at the moment I'm wondering if I'll find it. But you know, if I don't find it and I'm thinking, no, I don't like the look of this, I'll head onto the Sheriffmuir Road by another way, and I'll probably head down into Bridge of Allan. But let's see, I would quite like to find this the track that I had initially planned. It's actually quite warm now. I took a jumper off. It was cold first thing this morning, but it has warmed up quite a bit. And I have noticed recently there's been a kind of trend, a fashion trend for what I would maybe call quilted garments, jackets and coats. The coats, it's mainly women I've seen wearing them, and they seem to just, they're long, and in some cases they go down to the wearer's ankles. Huge thing, you know. And obviously when they bought them, they thought, well, this seems to be there's a fashion trend here at the moment. I'll look good, and it'll keep me nice and snug and cosy in this cold weather. But there's a part of me is inclined to think that these quilted garments actually look like duvets. I mean, I've seen some women, and I'm not having a go at women here, or maybe I am, I'm not sure, where they seem to be wearing a blanket. I suppose you could take that back to a long time ago and say, oh, it's a shawl. But I've seen some women that are wearing what looks like more like a blanket than a shawl, you know. It's as if they got up in the morning and thought, oh, I'm not sure what to wear. I'll just throw this blanket over me. And out they go. And I see this new fashion trend in a similar vein, you know. Some women have maybe got up in the morning and they thought, what am I going to wear? I tell you what, I'll just wear this duvet. Stick a couple of buttons on there, that'll be just the job. Swan about the place. It's like they're just wearing part of their bed. They don't want to acknowledge the fact that they're no longer in their bed. They're in the street. Anyway, we'll carry on this track and see if I can pick up that track that I've never been on before. You might notice I'm not eating a pie just now. I had a big bowl of porridge this morning. I'm not hungry. I've got bananas with me, but I don't feel the need to eat just now. No point in eating if you're not hungry, you know. Well, that's that steading down there. You can see it's less ruinous than some of the other stuff in the area. I think it's called Jerah. Again, if I'm wrong, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. There's a part of me thinking I'm getting mixed up with another steading on the other side of the hill of Dumyat. But it's from round about there that I'm hoping to pick up that other track that I've not been on before, and which isn't on my map, but I've mapped it on my map from online sources. To be honest, if that track isn't obvious when I get sort of down into that area, then I'm just going to give it a miss and I'll head down into Bridge of Allan. Somewhere at the back of my mind I've got the Bridge of Allan brewery brewing. And a beer. But we'll see when we get down there. I'll have a kind of look around and we'll see if I can find it. I mean, I actually went the wrong way up there. There was a fork in the path and I followed a substantial track, hello there, for quite a bit. But my gut feeling was that was going the wrong way. I could be wrong there, that may have been the track. Yeah, it didn't seem to be going the right way, that's the thing. Anyway, let's find out. if, as I suggested earlier on, that this building was occupied as late as the 1930s, and once again, if it's not called Jerah, I'll stick the proper name at the bottom of the screen. But it just, I think, goes to show how quickly a structure can deteriorate. You know, that's within 100 years. And it's, you know, a total ruin. It's not all at ground level yet, there's still some walls standing, but they are in a very precarious state and very unsafe. You wouldn't really want to go in there and be messing about. I think back there, the fork, I took the right hand fork and followed it for a bit, and I kind of came to think that it was the wrong way. Now I think it probably was the way I should have gone. I'm not seeing a kind of track leading from here. And I'm not that bothered, to be honest. I'm just going to head from here round by a loch and then down to Bridge of Allan. And I'll maybe have a beer in the Birds and Bees and indulge myself in a few memories. I mean, I think this is the thing, you know, I've got this map here, okay, it's a little bit out of date. You know, I'm in a hilly area that I am reasonably familiar with. You know, I can see it. You can't get away from the hill of Dumyat, that's always going to be there. So no matter where I am or where I think I am, that's a very recognisable feature. I'm not going to get lost, and from here I know exactly which way I'm going to go to eventually get to Bridge of Allan. You know, so I have changed my route. And changing your route might well be a very different story if you were in the mountains and you perhaps told somebody your route beforehand for safety reasons. But then if you then decided to change your route and you got yourself in difficulties and folk were sent out to rescue you, you know, they're looking for you in a different area. So that's a kind of serious thing. As I say, I bumped into quite a lot of people today, and as I say, I'm in a kind of hilly area that I'm kind of familiar with, so I'm quite happy in changing my route. Well, I think I made the right decision in not following the track that I had originally intended to follow. As I say, I did follow it for a bit, but I thought it was the wrong track. Because I feel slightly tired, you know. I kind of feel as if I'm sort of done, you know, and by the time I get down into Bridge of Allan, I'll have done a good walk, you know. I mean, it's not been that far or that difficult, but you know, I feel as if I've done a bit of a walk. And that's all you need sometimes. I think if I'd gone that way, and that would have been I would have been pretty wrecked. Anyway, the Sheriffmuir road's just up there. I'm going to kind of make my way down via a loch, a reservoir rather, as I say, into Bridge of Allan. I'm Eddie Burns. Bye for now.